Hello.
Hey.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hey.
So
It's
fancy
Tuesday.
seeing you here at 1:30 Eastern time versus
We're awake.
7:30.
That's 12:30 Central Standard Time.
Yes.
Good job, Kristen.
And we don't have boys. They're probably still asleep, right?
Probably.
Probably.
Think so, because we don't start seeing them. So we are live in the tech group and the creative group. And we did a poll last week, I believe, over what everybody wanted to learn about. And by far, I want to say it was close to 150 votes was marketing and Canva. So I'm super excited for all of us to bring in some of the very different ways we use Canva. I know, Kristen, you're very new because you fought it for a couple years, right? So you fought it for a couple years. How long have you been using it?
What is this, like week 2?
Only week 2?
And
you've
your
already been
mind is
creating
like,
that stuff. So I think that's a perfect perspective. Bree, you've probably been, I don't know, and Anna, how long have you guys been using it?
I think I've been using since 2017, I guess, maybe.
So that's like 3 years. That's probably about when I finally made that switch over. I used to use Illustrator and Photoshop for 15 years for everything. Like I couldn't imagine not using that. And I think it wasn't until, you have our admins and I travel so much. And of course, you have the Chromebooks or whatever. And, you don't have that massive program on all of your devices. So if I needed to get something done and I'm traveling, I was kind of screwed. Like, well, sorry, nope, can't do it. Or when I started needing help and getting assistants, admins to be able to help me, they couldn't. Because, Illustrator or Photoshop are not very fun to learn. They're not. I know what terminology to Google to ask YouTube or whatever to show me how to do something. So
but it's almost like you take, I started in Photoshop when I was a sophomore in high school. So you take all of this time learning this platform and it's like your child, and it becomes like, we all know I don't like change whatsoever.
Yeah, I started with Photoshop 6, and then when I got to college, I had to learn Illustrator for a class, and I hated Illustrator because it was just different from Photoshop, similar but still different. And then I ended up liking Illustrator a lot better than Photoshop. But Canva is just so convenient and easy to use that if I need something, I just go to Canva.
I'm just lazy. I remember way back when I started using, and I can't even remember the name of it, and I don't even think it exists for the life of me. It was some program that I literally paid $20 a month for. It was like back in 2014 or 15 or something. And it was like Hootsuite, but it gave you very limited options to like create your own posts with what they had. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I can make like fun stuff and just like whatever and not have to put like a lot of time and effort into it. And totally worked my schedule because I was not trying to sit in front of a computer in front of Adobe for like forever and a decade layering. So
I love layers.
I like layers too. Like I also really, anyone write this down. I just learned about this app and I downloaded it. It's called Art Studio. It's literally like Adobe, but on your phone, and it's an app and it's all about layers.
I'm not about the phone. These eyes just don't see the way they used to. And I have fat fingers apparently. So, and I know, so who here uses the app for the Canva?
On the phone?
Yeah.
I use it on my iPad.
I have it, but it's not, I'd rather use the desktop version.
No, me too.
I would like to say that I am personally responsible for the grids in the app. I'm probably not. There was probably a bunch of other people that complained, but after I complained, they did an update. So I take credit.
Yeah, I think I only use the app under dire circumstances. If I'm out and I am not going to, and I have to get something done, I will attempt to use the app. It's not fun. me, but
it's not as much fun. But I will say this: if you have a graphic that you've created and you want to go back in and add stickers to it through the app on your phone, that's really cool. And then because unfortunately they only allow you to save things for 5 seconds with stickers, then what I'll do is I'll put it into like either Video Leap or Pick Play Post and like just duplicate it to make it like about 15 seconds. And then I have a really cool video. So I'll give it, the stickers in there are pretty cool.
I
yeah,
think
we've used all those different elements, like, because I just use it for, I think that's what's great about this today is we all use this for completely different reasons. So I think everybody's going to be able to relate to one of us or some of us, or it's going to expand what they're already using it for. So I would like Kristen, since she is the brand newbie, I think she's going to give that perfect perspective of what most who are trying to do Canva, fighting it the way we all did, but are finally starting to use it. So I want to know what your biggest takeaways, maybe just some of the goodies that you're finding as you're learning how to navigate through Canva.
Sure. And so I think also my use of Canva has kind of evolved because of where I'm at now. So I lived on Instagram. That's the only thing I cared about. I just did. Bree and I joke that we're the 2D of where Michael Thorne and Jesse Peters are. So we create the just graphics, right? And that's where I would put them. I'd put them on Instagram. That's where I lived. I'd create them in Photoshop or PowerPoint. Mind blown. I know, it's fine. But
and you thought going to Canva and you were using PowerPoint?
I love PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So, but the majority of what I've created in the last 2 years is in PowerPoint because my computer couldn't survive Photoshop, and it's finally done. But now as I'm getting into video and I'm realizing that, the Gary Vee scenario of if Instagram went away tomorrow, would you go away? And I would have. So I have to be everywhere. So my thing of Canva that I just realized a week ago is I can create one graphic and then resize it for my IGTV, for an Instagram story thumbnail, for the YouTube thumbnail, for a Facebook post, for an Instagram post. And I don't have to do anything. If I was going to do that on my computer, I would have had to save it. I would have had to start a new project, resize the project, resize the font, resize the graphics, reformat everything so everything stays centered, so all the kerning stays the same. Like, it was work. It was a lot of work. And I think I used to look at Canva as the easy way out. And, when you're coming from a graphic design background, it's kind of like, well, now you all can do what I can do. But now I've embraced it in it's super easy. There's you have all different levels of use. I can go in and start from scratch and create a graphic the same way I would in Photoshop or anywhere else. But if you're a brand new beginner, you can go in and grab a template and add your brand to it. You can go into the creative group and grab a graphic and add your info to it, or change the colors or do those kinds of things. So I think that it's just, it's really cool, a really cool tool to not only create graphics, but repurpose them for all the different places where we have to be and not overwhelm you. I think that was a lot of what kept me away from those things, was that I had to, I was like, I don't want to put it on YouTube today because I have to go in and I have to do this and that and the other thing. And now I literally just duplicate the design and resize it. Should I share screen and show what I've been doing?
Yes.
Now, the resizing part is a paid version, right?
I don't know. I just paid for it because it was $12 a month. And I'm like, well, I paid $30 a month for.
I'm pretty sure that in order to resize the graphic, you need to be in a paid account.
So it's
definitely worth it. It's literally like $120 for the entire year. And it's a tax write-off for marketing. So I definitely recommend.
See, and I just got mine and it was more, so I don't know.
Why do I see 900 different screens? Okay, there we go. That's good, right?
Yes.
That was crazy. Okay, so this is my graphic for my listing at Country Ridge. And so you just can go up here and resize it to fit it in an Instagram story. And then you just make everything different sized and move it around to where it needs to go. It's really that easy.
No, and then I have, like with mine, I just kind of set up templates for each one. And then for the story, I'll have like 2 or 3 graphics, and then it has the address or whatnot. I mean, that's pretty cool. Oh, I love how that tunnel. I think that's
how do I get out?
because you don't have 2 screens. I can do that.
So yeah, I mean, it's literally like that's about the extent of my tricks so far. I haven't really.
But the resizing is
a ton.
I think that's a big deal because for me, like the thumbnail graphic for YouTube, it's almost like a pet peeve of mine. When
and
I
not only that, but to have to remember all of those sizes, like and you can see right here. Where am I? Right here. I have my color chart of all of the Remax colors.
And you don't use that in your Canva?
You just add them to Canva and they just save.
Yeah, your brand kit, it's amazing. Like I have all of the logos. I have all of the fonts. You guys can find free fonts on the internet. It'll save in the right format that you need it to, and then you upload it right into Canva. Marian, I did see your question. We will get to that later on, and we'll go over how it's helped our business.
So the Gotham fonts are in that logos Google Drive folder. The Remax fonts. If we want to do that link.
rem.ax/logos.
Mm-hmm.
You need to add that on there.
So those are in there. But yeah, I think that it's just
I'll do it.
I'm a content creator when it comes to graphics, and it's what I love to do. And I think that I have, I pay $30 a month for my Adobe suite. I pay for a couple different places where I can grab stock photos and, vectors and graphics and things. And that's all within Canva. So I've been using Canva and Photofy to supplement those things that I'll eventually drop and save myself $50 a month of.
Well, and here's a new thing that you may not have experienced because you are new with Canva, and I'm not sure how many weeks ago they swapped it out, but they used to have so you had your pro version for all of your elements and certain photos and things like that. Then they still had premium elements and photos that you had to pay for on top of that. Well, they got rid of it now. So if you pay for pro, all of your images are included, which is huge. That alone to me is amazing.
I think that must be where it's at now with mine, because I think when I tried to get into Canva however long ago, it was everything seemed tedious, and it was oh, and for $2.99 you can do this, and for $1.25 you can do this, and I was like, no, just give it to me. I'm paying you, give it to me. And I think that's where I'm at now. And then I think it's cool too, where Heather can create a template and put it in the group, and then the group can go in and edit it.
Right.
And it did take me a while to figure that out because I was sharing a link. And I know originally when I had done all of the boosh, I just shared my design, and I went in. And oh my gosh, everything had changed. And I was like, oh, what happened? And then Anna showed me how to share it as a template that way, because nobody listened to the instructions that said make a copy of this before editing. So
So
all
if you
of that
share
is
it as a template, that's automatically like making that copy.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, I didn't know that. So Anna taught me that. And I mean, that wasn't even that long ago. And I've been using Canva for a while, but I just never really shared anything, I guess.
Right.
I love it.
Counts.
Whoever was at our Kristen and I's class at R4, if you've been to any of my classes, all of my presentations are made in Canva. The only thing that will stink is this: I don't have internet one day, which I can always hotspot from my phone, but I like it because yes, PowerPoint is really cool, but Canva has like other features that just make it like a cut above the rest. So I like to do a lot of my presentations in Canva. They're fun, and they have stickers now, guys. Those are great.
I do want to try that. I had done one, but I did not have very good internet. So it was a fail, 100%. So that's when I went, and then I tried to save it for PowerPoint, which I don't know if it's still in beta, and it just was sized all weird.
It still is. That and some of the video elements I think are still in beta because they're a little wonky. I will say for me, the effects, if anyone's played with any of the effect features, I couldn't get mine to load for the life of me. Like I would like try and get them to load and it was just like swirling and swirling. I went in last night. They're all there finally. So excited.
The question comes up often too, and Ramsey has a question, but about the Remax stickers. So right now I feel like Giphy is completely overloaded with Remax stickers. My luck has been if you search Remax without the /home, the new batch comes up.
Okay. I really wish I could figure out how to make the stickers and move. Like I downloaded them all. I have them in my Canva, but they're just
photos. So that's what Kristen was saying. There's the Giphy option to embed in the Canva file, and all you have to do is just search Remax sticker. But the problem is that so many people are creating their own
GIFs. They get buried.
So you have to like keep scrolling down until you find it. I actually found a couple of them earlier when I was working on my presentation.
So if I'm in Canva and I go to the GIF element and do a search, you're saying, which I haven't done that, so I'm just
it's in the embed
as I go.
It's in the embed thing. So when you have Canva open, you go down to the bottom with the 3 dots on the left side. It pops up the embedded stuff, and GIF is in there, or Giphy, whichever.
Okay. So we have a question. So what about the stickers? So that's where you're saying the search?
Yep. So I've found that whether you're on Canva, Instagram, really wherever you can search for stickers, pick, play, post, all the different mediums. If you search for Remax Home, so how do I put it up there?
Share screen.
Do you want to share screen again?
No, like Anna just did. I could just type it as a comment.
There you go. And then we're getting a lot about as far as Canva and Photofy. And to me, they're completely different. I absolutely love Photofy for so many different things. And for me, like I'm not big on Canva on the app for creating new stuff when Photofy like has everything right there for fun, simple, easy projects. So to me, it's like completely little different because Canva, I'm pretty much creating from scratch. And the resizing, so for the YouTube templates, for stuff I do for the office, for events, and Photofy is more of those fun social posts. I think is for me. I don't know, and I'm more on like an office level, but
for me, it's more about the branding on Photofy, and that very well could be because I've not been in Canva that much, but to be able to go in Photofy and just say like, oh, I want this and this and this, and that's a cute couch.
Their interfaces too are completely different, and the usability and the functionality are totally different for what they can offer. And the best suggestion I can say to anyone is to really just take your time and learn each platform to the best of your ability when you can, and you'll see the differences, and you'll be able to realize, okay, well, I should use Photofy for this and Canva for that, and it just makes a little bit more sense. In general, to be honest. And I'll show you guys how you can create graphics graphics with elements in Canva from basically scratch, just by piecing them together in a little bit. So yeah, and then go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, Heather said that in Canva you create everything from scratch. Well, yes, you can create from scratch, but don't forget that there's also some templates in there already that you can just go there and use to inspire you and create your own stuff. So you can grab
use the
templates, add your own images, logos, and all that other stuff. So.
Yeah, and if you run an office,
I have zero creativity flowing through and I just need something.
I find that hard to believe, Heather. Is there ever a time when you have zero creativity flowing through your brain?
Yes. Yeah, when you're just super busy and you just can't even it's like writer's block, but creative block. It's like sometimes you're doing the same thing all the time and you just want something different. And
then the next day you spend 13 hours just cranking out content.
Yes. But sometimes I just, commercials do that for me. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It'll be 10 o'clock at night and I see a commercial and there's some colors or fonts and I'm like, oh, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it's just anything. Do you guys pay for Photofy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 90 days free at first, and then it's $4 per month after that. But totally worth it.
So
I got the broker version, so I don't pay. But unfortunately, my broker has to pay because I think originally it was every office got a free broker, and then they changed it. So now only one person within a brokerage gets that free account.
But Canva and Photofy are like 3 coffees a month.
Oh gosh,
or 2 coffees if you get a venti.
Right. Canva's like $12.95 a month if you pay monthly. If you pay for the entire year up front, it's $9.95. And for me, that's hands down. You're gonna spend, like, at least in my area, I'm gonna spend more on a mail route doing every door direct than I would for something on social media. And there was a question about like our business and is this even worth it and how to justify it. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, my entire business has been from social media. I've paid out 4 RE/MAX agent to agent referrals this year from social media and the posts I create and the things I do. And a lot of my clients see what I post on social media because I add them as friends and it's free. Well, let me rephrase that. Marketing is free. You have to pay for the software, but it's far less expensive than what you're going to do in other areas. And like the next generations, I was just hanging out with my 11-year-old cousin and she was like, oh my, you guys know how I'm on like that ASMR kick and how I really just want to sell a house like that. Well, she was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. And you should do a muck board, which is apparently where all you do is eat food. So when I was eating cereal on live, that was like on trend. So why not, guys? This is the future. Think about the future business. It's all social.
It is.
Anna, you use this. So when you go to R4, you have this really cool map. And then you had your business card where you had like a QR code. And it took them to a form and they had it. So I did not even realize you did that in Canva. So I know you have a little something. Can you show us what you did Canva for that?
Sure. Let me pull this up here.
Let me be Mr. Rogers while Anna does. Anna. Whoa, I just called you Anna. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't even notice.
Day in the neighborhood.
I love Grandpa.
All right, can you see my screen?
No, I don't even see it. Hold on. No, that's not what I want.
Wait, hold on.
Is it because mine is up?
It's probably just me. Hold on. About now.
No, Kristen, can
I'm
you
gonna stop screen on mine?
There you go. So
Now try, Anna.
Now try it.
What? I already did. Let's try it again. Technical difficulty.
Ramsey, haven't you already eaten food on camera?
So is that working now? Nope, still nothing.
Yeah, did you hit the share screen?
I did.
Because it's not even popping up for me to add you in there.
Well, keep chatting. I think it was my browser that reset a little bit. So keep chatting over there.
So Robin's asking, is Canva a good tool to use for a high-level market report, numbers, and a graph?
I have tried using theirs. I still do my own in Excel with my numbers, and I make the pies or the graphs, and then I save it without any lines, and then I remove any backgrounds, and then I add it into Canva. But I do all of our charts are in Canva. I just haven't used, I did for the first time, try to use theirs.
So
Monica Bullington does a weekly market update, and she uses Canva strictly for it. And they're nice. I like those.
And I bet if you looked in the templates, there'd be some nice ones in there too. I've tried to use like their charts and stuff. And I did just do one last week, I believe, just to try to do from their data versus going into Excel and all that.
Did you see Ramsey's comment?
Which one?
Ramsey said, how do you guys get all this done? Help us and sell houses.
Yeah, I'd highlighted that.
We don't sleep.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now you're popping up, Anna.
Okay. So you can see my screen now?
I see us.
It's so weird. It's like a screen and a screen and a screen.
Right. So like I have two screens. So I tell it to share my other monitor. And then I just try to look at it. I know that it's okay. So we're going to try this again. There we are. Now we have it right. Yay.
Finally. Yeah. So I used Canva to create some business cards. So on the left side, I have my regular business cards that, I hand out to the public or people that I meet. But the one on the right, that is the business card that I created for our floor. So my business card is different than the public facing one because I actually want to connect with other people and I want to get their information as well. So in this case, I actually used a QR code application, different one, but Canva also has a QR code that people can use to scan. So the only reason why I didn't use the Canva one is because I cannot track how many people click on it and all that other stuff. But what you could do to make it simple is whatever you want to track as your QR code, whether it's a single property website or your own website, whatever link you want to use, put that link in the URL shortener, the Remax branded URL shortener, and then put that in the QR code here. So when I put I can create the QR code here on the left side. On those three dots that I was talking about earlier, there's the QR code. I just click on it. My computer's a little slow because I have so much going on with this.
Because it's a Mac.
And then you put the URL right there, and it generates the code.
Okay, so yeah, it would track if you just use the Remax URL shortener and use that, it'll track everything. So that's, I never knew that. And I pay like $150 a year for a QR code maker just so I can have a balloon inside of it. But it's not that important.
It's pretty new. I want to say it came out, was it the end of last year, Anna? Or
it was pretty recently because actually when I created our floor card, I didn't even know the QR code was in Canva.
No, I definitely always have different cards for different events than I do for like regular, what's hanging at the office is totally different than what I would hand out at a specific event. So that was amazing. And then however it has the form and then you have that cool little mappy thing. So you did all your business cards, you designed it right in there and then you took it somewhere or saved it and
printed it Staples the day before.
Really?
I picked it up the day as I was going to the airport.
Wow.
Procrastination. That's just how
So you use a lot of the elements part of it? Or what do you use Canva most for? Other than I know, so here's business cards. What else do you use it for?
Let me get there. So I had my little presentation for today that has a list of everything. So I'm a technology trainer for our offices as well as an agent. So I create my office presentations in there. business cards, social graphics, event banners for like Facebook events or whatever, holiday cards, blog posts, banners, pop-by tags, memes, and like Facebook ad graphics. So these are some of the office presentations that I created. And I actually managed to do a little trick. I grabbed the LLC's PowerPoint presentations, extracted the background images from the presentations, and then uploaded into Canva so that I can use the LLC backgrounds in all of my presentations.
I always save those, and I have like a background folder for like years of presentations.
Right. So in my folders here on the side, I have.
Anna, there's a lot of people asking where your QR code went to.
Very good question. Let's see. I think I'm sharing the actual page. Do you see my tabs?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So my QR code actually went to my referral list. So people would scan. So on my business card, the bottom part with my information and whatnot, when people scan that QR code, it would pop up this little page that had my profile photo, my titles and all that stuff, where we met. So I put 2020 R4 and then my contact information in there. And then when they open this from the phone, they can actually click on the button that says download vCard or add to phone. So it looks different on the computer, obviously, but it would automatically add my contact information to their phone so they didn't have to type it up. And then the back, when they flip the business card to the other side, if you can see there's like little balloons over there. These are people that I've met at my previous R4. So 2018 and most of my 2019 contacts are in that map. And when they scan that QR code, it would take them to a little Google Forms. And the reason why it's a Google form is because people kept, previous years, I had to ask my mom and my dad to type those contacts into an Excel sheet so I could create my map. So instead of asking someone else to type because I didn't want to type, I just made people enter their own information. So they filled up a couple of questions, and then now I have to manually add them to my map. So whenever people ask me, I need to move to Portugal, I can just go to Portugal. And I say Portugal because obviously I'm from there. I can go to Portugal and I can see who do I have there. And depending on what area of Portugal they want to go, I can refer them to the appropriate agent. So if they want to go to Port, I can give them a name in Porto. If they want to go to Lisbon, so forth and so forth. But also works here in the States. If I have somebody who needs to go to St. Louis, I can send a referral there. And I know that Les Smith is in there somewhere.
I need you just to teach me how to make this map.
Right.
Yes, I'm supposed to do a video on that because everybody keeps asking about it.
Yeah, I think that would be like a whole class in itself. Those are some awesome ideas. I love Google Forms and how everything just goes into a spreadsheet, keeps everything organized. I do that for everything. So those are some awesome stuff. But now we need to move on to Bree, because Bree blew my mind away the first time she came to my office. What was all this, Kristen?
I was trying to point to Bree, but then it moved and made me small.
Like, what's going on here? The first time you came to my office and you did a presentation, and that was strictly using the Canva. You had what I think we loved so much was you added like little videos inside of everything. So not only did you tell us about the app, is you had like a little video tutorial about the app.
Yeah.
We could see it live. And I know that you had done that for R4, I believe, this year too. That feels like a lifetime ago. Like crazy. But I absolutely love that. And I just know the first time I tried to use Canva, it was just not executed well because of internet. And my kids weren't around to teach me how to use my hotspot or whatever. So I don't know if you have anything to show us.
Yeah.
Show us all the cool stuff that you do.
Besides how fabulous you look today.
Huh?
Show us besides how fabulous you look today.
Thanks, guys. I got dressed up for y'all. Yeah, most definitely. Which someone did ask though about QR codes and if they're really coming back and everything. And I think it would only be fair to like touch on that. So I don't have cable. I have Hulu and stuff like that. And even my TV commercials have QR codes now to like just put your phone up and scan.
Right, because you don't need like some separate app like you did 7-8 years ago. You just put your phone in camera mode and it just, bam, it happens.
Yeah. I think it says something about like the fact that it's in Canva now. Yeah. Like it's back. It's not like it's been dormant there.
And here's the thing for you. So Ramsey and I went shoe shopping because we're like what you call sneakerheads and we really like sneakers. And this store, they only get certain sizes and certain shoes because they're like, you know, it's I don't know what it is, consignment or whatever, like of unworn shoes. So the girl would say, scan the QR code on the bottom of the shoe and it directs you to the website and then it tells you if it's in your shoe size in that particular location you're in. Mind blown. Like I didn't have to bother and intend it until it was like ready to actually try it on. Like there was no disappointment of if they had it or not. I knew right away. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I have 2 graphics I want to make with you guys really quick. I kind of went on a tangent yesterday and both of them are going to show 2 different things. Let me see if I can share this. Is it going to work?
And Sandy, I see yours. You make a QR code in Canva. Basically, they have the QR codes. You just basically put in the website address that you want.
Did it work?
I see. I see screen.
Is it like a crazy screen or is it like?
No, you're good. I see Cinco. I see what you posted this morning.
Speaking of people, I got my microphone.
Okay. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make this in 4 steps. And then the next one, I think it's about 6 steps. So let's start with this one. For these, I always go up to create a design. And I tend to just use the generalized social media one, depending on what I'm working on. And for these, this pretty much always fits Instagram, everything like that. Like the dimensions don't really matter completely for stuff like this. Sometimes I'll change my title. So let's just call this Cinco just for the fun of it. Whoops, if I can actually spell today. All right, and the first thing we're gonna do is you have all of these little tabs over here. I go over to my background and you can change your colors and do patterns, whatever you want. But what I prefer to do is if I'm just doing a solid color is I'll come over here and just click on my little color wheel and I'm gonna make it black. Just because what I learned when I made this last night is that black makes the colors pop more. So then you're gonna come over to your elements and there is like literally a plethora of different things that you could select from and they're all categorized differently and you can even search for things. So for this one, I'm gonna teach you guys how to use the search options. And what we're gonna search for is Cinco de Mayo. And the cool thing that I really like about this is that when you're looking for different graphics, this one tends, I think it's down further. Sorry, you have to scroll through all these, but look at this. You have all of these for the pro version that you can select from. You can really just go to town and, you know, make something really cool. Okay, so this is the one I picked. If you click the 3 little dots here, it literally will pull up and tell you the keywords. So if you want to find something that's comparable to what you're looking for, if you type in any of these keywords, this image will pop up. So that's really handy to know if you want to find something in the future. No, why didn't you go? There we go. And I just simply resize it to fit. The hardest part, I wouldn't even say the hardest part, the most tedious part of this is I get stuck on looking for elements and I just fall down a rabbit hole because there's just so many options and so many things you can choose from that you kind of get lost and that takes more time than actually creating a graphic. So the next thing I'm going to search for is siesta. and I'm going to find my little cute skeleton guys. Here's one. I'm going to pull him over. I didn't change the colors of him or anything, which if you wanted to come here and change the color scheme, it'll give you the document colors that you've used already. And if I added other colors, it would just continue to add up. Here are my brand colors for Remax. And then, you know, you just come over here and you resize him. What I did is I actually repositioned him and moved him back. So that way my little leaf thing here was over it. And then if you want, you can actually change like the transparency and make it, you know, whoops, if it'll go, sorry, it won't go. There we go. You can make it lighter, darker, whatever your little heart desires. And then I'm going to scroll down and find my other little guy or girl, my little girl I had. She's in here. There she is. I resized her. I tilted her a little bit using this option. And then when your element gets smaller to a certain point, you get this little, I don't know the proper term for it, bear with me, but you get this little arrow thing and it just makes it easier to move and reposition. And I'll put her right there, like that. And then you come over to wherever you have your Remax logos, whether you've just uploaded them. I have mine in a separate folder just for logos. And I'm going to show you what I did, which this one's all the way at the bottom, guys. Sorry. Here it is. You take your logo, you resize it. You put it where you like it. I happen to like mine here. Make it a little smaller. And I actually published this one non-branded. And what I did with this one when I was done is I put it into, I saved it on my phone and I put it in Inlight Pixel Loop. And I added these really cool little butterflies. It's a butterfly overlay over it. It's so pretty. So for this, I adjusted. I went in here and adjusted the tint to make it blend because you can put Remax as a solid color, just not gold. And I just gave it a little pink tint and ta-da, I was done. And that's it. It's literally 4 steps. You can do it in 5 minutes. The hardest part is learning the program and not falling down a rabbit hole looking for graphics.
I don't know if that's possible because I know I get a bit squirrel brained and I forget what I'm working on because I see something else and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And I totally forget what I actually went to go create. Happens all the time. But
I just fell down a rabbit hole.
Fun things that you can do. And on the branding guide, so I know, I don't know if you can show like how easy it is to be able to add on the branding, because that is definitely a feature I love most about it. Is I went to the trademarks, they give you the color code, you just go set up your branding, click the plus, and then you just add those color codes. So I have like all the different reds and the blues and the grays for all of that. And that makes it so nice. So I know I have the fonts and I have all the colors that I can modify so that they're all Remaxy stuff.
I just followed along with you on my phone. And
right? Isn't it cool?
From my phone.
That's what I'm saying. The phone, it gets a little wonky sometimes with resizing and it drives me insane.
I can't find where my logos are, but that's because I'm a newbie. So
the Remax logos are the only thing that frustrate me the most on the app, but I feel like it's just them. So here's the brand kit. It is super easy. You literally click on your little button here and you just upload your logos at your heart's desire. Here are my colors. Like Heather said, you click on the little thing, you enter the code, which they're in the Remax Creative Group, or it's on the Marketing tab in Mac Center. And then you upload your fonts and you just, you know, when I uploaded some of these, they didn't have as many options for fonts, but now there's a lot of new fonts that they offer, which is pretty cool.
Anna has something to say, I think, and she's just not speaking. She's raising her hand.
I just want to let people know that you're able to add a lot more colors and upload your fonts because you have a paid version. So if you have the free version, you can only set up 3 of the brand colors, and you can't upload your own fonts. But other than that,
but
Okay,
you're
I was
doing yourself a
curious
disservice if you don't get the paid version. And I'm looking at you, Glenn Porter.
Yeah. So I want to show you guys this because this takes a completely different concept. And this one took me 6 steps to complete because I used grids. And grids are just like a way to make life so much easier versus having to really resize to fit your document the way you want it to fit. And I love me some grids.
Can I
Yeah.
say something real quick? Because when you just downloaded it, it gave me complete anxiety. So if you're like me, where it says Untitled Design, you can change that so it is what it is. Yes.
All right.
That was my biggest, like, why are they all untitled? I hated it. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go in and rename these once I download them. And then I realized that one little piece, and I was like, oh.
Dude,
and a lot of people are asking about the folders, and you can have whatever folders you want. Just think of your documents, or I personally use like Dropbox. So organize your folders however you want. You can have logos, you could have listing like just listed, just sold.
Yeah.
If you use different, however you need to organize it for yourself. We have events, there's just, it's all depending on you, I think.
You can share folders. So I have a folder for my office, and my broker has a Canva account. And when I have to make templates for classes and stuff, I literally send him the template, and there's a folder just for my office and whatever I created.
So instead of sharing each Bouge thing I did individually, I could have shared like the whole folder as a template.
Yeah, he has access to that entire folder.
Well, I don't want somebody to have access because I saw what happened and everything got like all messed up and I had to redo it all. I want to share it as a template so they could just add my folder to them as a whole new folder.
I think you give permissions, and I think I gave him permissions to edit the template. I'll have to go back in. It's been a while since I set it up, and I only did it for
the template. If you have somebody in a team, it's no longer free to have a team. You have to pay extra per team member in order for them to use your template.
I think it's like $10 a month or something. I'm like, no,
so I just share each individual graphic as a template for people to start using it.
Right. So like my office has an account, but I'll just, if I do something in mine, I'll just share it as a template, add it over there, and I just log into that account. Even though it's so much easier as a team, because it's just the little drop down, but I don't know that it's worth $120 a year or whatever it is to add a team member.
Right.
Log in, log out.
I want to show you guys this one super quick. I promise this one will also take you like 5 minutes, just because grids will literally change your life.
I've never figured out the grids that you talk about.
You haven't, or you have?
Oh, those. Okay, yes. No, I use them all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a grid, like there's supposed to be lines on it to keep me.
Yeah, that's why.
Now you did teach me how to. Now I know how to center things.
Yeah. So in Elements, there is a section called grids, and you can search for frames. There's a difference when you search for frames and new frames, and I'll talk about that quickly. So to make this Mother's Day graphic, what I did is I inputted a grid real quick that literally fits the entire graphic, because next I'm going to come over here and go to photos, and I searched for black just to pull up something, and here's the one that I selected. And again, if I need to reference where I found it again, I can click on those 3 little dots. I can add it to a folder. You can add it to your likes section for easy access. Why didn't it go in my grid? And then you just literally hover it over the grid, and it's in there. And then if you want, let's say it was a picture of a dog or something, you can like move this around. You double click on the image, you reposition it, and you're done. So now that's complete, I'm going to go back into my element section and I'm going to search for new frame, which is a little bit different because if you just search for frame, you're going to get things that have a grid in it and things that don't. I believe I selected this one. So I'm just going to select this frame. And the way you know it's a grid that will input a photo is it has this little grassy thing and it has little clouds and it's just, you know, and it's kind of cute. And we're just going to resize this bad boy real quick.
I really added to a clipping mask in Illustrator and Photoshop.
Right, right. And then for this, I searched for pink. And I just grabbed the cute little pink bricks. I hovered over that and ta-da, there it was. Or goes, or is, or I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying.
One.
And so then you clear out your little element search. And then I searched for, I think it was mom is what I put in. Yeah, here it is. I put in best mom ever. I centered. See how the lines show up to tell you exactly if your image is centered with the entire thing. I went over here to change my color for the little hearts, and I changed it to white. And then I went back to my folders. I went to my logos. Whoops, I went too far. And I scrolled all the way to the bottom because it's all the way down here. And I just inputted my little logo. And ta-da! Now I will say that before you save, where are you? Don't mess up. Oh, you little booger! You're making me look like a liar now.
I noticed that with grids because any photo, it's gonna pop in.
I used the little arrows on the keyboard to move those things.
There we go. Got it. Sometimes, yeah. And then resize. And I'm done. You always want to make sure though that like you've clicked off of your screen so that way it saves the most recent version. And then you can decide how you want to save it or share it or publish it. There's like a gazillion and one different things. If you have MailChimp does link to Canva, which is super cool. They have printing options now. I personally haven't printed anything from them. I think they're a little expensive. I would much rather save my design in a high quality and then input it over into like Zazzle or Vistaprint and just save money and print that way. You can save as a PNG, which it breaks it down for you as to what's higher quality. You can try and test it out as a video if you want, depending on what you've created. If you've used a sticker or something, you can, you know, make your size bigger. Like your options are endless with this, which are really cool. And that's pretty much it.
Hey, Bray, can you do one of my favorite things and change a color in all of the elements at the same time?
What do you mean?
So right now you have selected the best mom ever in black.
Right.
And you click on the box with a color to change the color.
Yeah.
And then you select a different color, for example, whatever, blue or something, or red.
There you go.
And scroll down, it should show up on the bottom.
To change all. Usually like on a font or something it would.
Not in a font, in an element it changes. So maybe it works better with the Remax logo or the heart. But when you change the color in one element, it asks if you want to apply the change to that same color to all of the elements that have that same color. And I think it's like, it's super easy and time saving, especially if you get a template from someone else and it doesn't have your brand colors and you want to change the template, which may have several pages, change the template to match all of your brand colors. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I do that a lot when I'm doing my quotes and I'll just have different texts. And if I want to change the text color, it always says change all. So everything that I have is white. I want to change it to black now because I have a different color background. So I do. That makes it super easy when I'm doing all that kind of stuff.
Kate, it's all one graphic, but it kind of acts like separate layers.
Because you can move them backward and forward, and all that craziness. So let's see, where am I? So I'll just share mine, just if anyone has any questions. But I think there's already a lot of different things that people use it for, whether, you know, we have the brand kit, again, just getting those colors. I have the different logos that I use all the time, whether it be Remax, whether it's my office. Then of course we have the different brand kit. I have all the fonts that I like, whether, you know, I just kind of have a folder of fonts that I use, the Remax fonts that they have, my favorites. Then of course you have all the folders that you can have. So I have like my backdrops, which will have, again, I take as much as I can from you see like this is from Photofy. So I just don't add anything in Photofy and I just save the picture and email it to me. So now I have a cool background that I saw in Photofy. These are from the different presentations that Remax may have had throughout the years. We have different backgrounds for like, this is my area, all that kind of stuff. And you'll notice I use a lot of these for the different quotes that I do. I mean, I'll just, you know, fade them or whatever, move them back and forth. And that's just basically what I'm using for different quotes that I do. We have a folder for like award logos. So we're always doing, you know, when an agent hits a level. So we'll use it for that. We have our preferred partners. We have all of our agents. We have 2 days a week, we showcase a property, but we make it a miracle home. So we just have different templates and sometimes we just add them, but it's so that it's not the same exact post always being done. So, I mean, you can customize the folders to how it works for you. Just think of your documents on your computer. How is it going to work for you? Because we have events, just social templates. So here's like my Elite University. So it's one of our websites. So I have a template for what I need for the blog, what I need for a course cover, what I need for this. So that way, if I am adding a blog, here's all the different things that I'm going to need to change for it. So there's so many things that you can use it for. Here's like Bouge. So that's why I thought, oh, it'd be cool if I could just share an entire folder as a template, because when I shared as graphics, it only took an hour and holy camole, there was so much going on with whatever I had done. So nobody made a copy. It was just so much. I was like, oh, that is not what I shared.
That's a nice circle template you've got there, Heather.
What?
That's a nice circle template you've got there, Heather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm over the circles now. Now I'm using more of these without any backgrounds over them. I think I only did that because we have Real Geeks and we have circles. So I had to try it. And now I'm over the circles. But
circles are out.
Circles out right now. If I can avoid it, I don't do circles. But let's see. So what other... So with the, let's see, Remax backgrounds. Can't share the link because people can delete them. I did add them somewhere. Where did I add all those? I shared them in a Dropbox folder. I can share a Dropbox folder to all of those backgrounds I have.
Or just dump it in the logos folder.
Yeah, you can find a lot of them too if you're in the marketing tab of your Mac Center and you download, like Anna said, download like a PowerPoint. If you right click and do save as or like crop the image, like I know for Kristen and my presentation, that's how I got the R4 stuff in my Canva presentations that had literally the same unified graphics that they had as I downloaded from their PowerPoint. And then someone else, what did they ask? They said to go over you're going to do it, the logos.
Yeah, and I think this is also a paid version, correct? For the whole branding, yeah. You get 3 colors. I don't know if you can upload logos into the brand kit, and I'm not sure what your can you add folders? Because even if you could add a folder.
Yeah, because I have mine separated as logos in a folder, but I don't know. I think what I would recommend for anyone who has the free version is if you're finding yourself getting flustered and frustrated because you can't do a lot of the stuff that we're able to do, then I think it's time for you to upgrade. Test it out for a month. It's literally $12.95 for 1 month. See if you like it. If it's worth it, then switch it over. You save $3 by paying for the whole year. You save $3 per month by paying for the whole year. And
I think that was me. I think I used the free version for a year. I did not. Yeah. I think I used PicMonkey, like way back then.
Right. Yeah.
Because I did like a lot of, but then they changed it. I think they were trying to change it to compete with Canva, and they just didn't do a great job of that. And I just loved, what I hated about PicMonkey is I could never save. And then they added that element, but it still wasn't anything. And I just kept finding myself moving more and more to Canva. So it was worth it. But I did use it a year for free. Yeah. Okay. So Canva is offering 30 days free. So I would take full advantage of that. Use it. If you find yourself using it more and more, and as you can see, like, it's super easy for us to share templates with you. And now that I figured that out, that's like a huge thing for me to be able to share templates now, knowing people aren't going to edit my original stuff.
And I think it's one of those things that's like, everyone is just like, I don't like one more expense. And I like that Travis Robertson used to always say, you can get $40 a month in this industry, to where it's like every time something new is something, it's $10 more, $10 more.
I use it every day. So to me, it's completely worth it.
Audit what you're spending money on now. I mean, quite frankly, my coffee budget has gone nowhere. So I can get by without 2 extra Starbucks a week or 2 extra coffees a week. I'm not a Starbucks. I like my Starbucks, but I'll drink coffee from anywhere. But giving up those 2 Starbucks to pay the $12 a month for Canva is honestly going to save me so many dollars per hour that.
Right.
And someone had mentioned doing it for Cricut as well as t-shirts. And I can say this shirt, I'm covered. This shirt I made before Adam said it that year. I brought it, and then everybody thought, how did you know? Like, where did you get that shirt? Because I had this shirt already when I went to R4, so I wore it the next day when he said it on stage, and it was like a huge thing. I'm like, how'd you make that in your room? But yeah, so
it's fine.
I totally made the design in Canva. I saved it because you can save it transparent, and I made it on my Cricut machine. I've made most of the shirts that we had with our store that lasted a couple hours. All of my designs were done in Canva, and I just saved. You can save it as transparent. But yeah, so I use it for my Cricut. I'll use it on any t-shirts that I just print and make my own or whatever. So for sure, you can do that. And I would just use a large template size, like even like a YouTube banners, like ginormous, or presentation. So that way your image is big enough if you're going to print anything like on a shirt or anything like that.
So somebody was asking how to actually upload the logos. And I meant to say that before you stop sharing.
Just hit the plus. Like when you create a folder, it'll ask you to upload. So if I go over, all I have to do is, this is in the brand kit, or if I just had any other photo, like a folder.
Or there's an upload section too. Like you can upload it there and then move it.
Yep. Or I can just go and upload my own. So if I go to upload, you can see the last things I uploaded was all the stickers, so that I could add a sticker album. I just wish they moved, but I was working on something and I wanted the stickers, so I just uploaded all those stickers. So
do you guys know if we can organize photos in bulk?
Yes. I just do this and I can click on them. And then it says right here, folder. I can move them to a folder or I can delete them.
There you go. Thanks for answering that question.
Yep. I just found that out yesterday. Like, oh, what are those little buttons? That's like my phone. Just select
Always learning.
Yay!
They're
So I just
always
discovered that
adding
yesterday
stuff
on
too. Like Canva is constantly making changes and adding things and changing it around. So like even when you think every time I have taught the Canva class, even if it was like within a 30-day time frame, I've had to come back and restructure my presentation because they've added something new.
And Sandy, I haven't used PicMonkey in a long time. Last year, I realized I was still paying for it, so I made sure to cancel it. But
Yeah,
I haven't
and
been there in years. I just happened to see it when I was doing my taxes last year that I paid annually. And I was like, oh, crap, I haven't been in there in forever. But no, but I did like the whole teeth whitener and making me look pretty and wrinkle remover. I do miss that part, but I don't know.
That's what Facetune is for, and they're
Oh
from
my
my
God, I
favorite
love that
developers.
thing.
Love Facetune. I actually just made it and I put it on my Instagram. Breeze to Keys, if anyone cares. I didn't put it on here because I wanted you to see my shirt. And I literally took a picture selfie of me like this today because I was bored and what else am I going to do at home other than take a selfie? And I went on to Facetune and I completely changed the backdrop in like 3 minutes. And now I have like this tropical floral thing behind me. It's really cute.
I do like Facetune. Facetune makes me look like I feel I look.
Right.
I look at stuff and I'm like, what? So this is great. I know there's been a lot of questions. Oh, go ahead, Anna. Before I
One more
close
thing to add is it's in the paid version, unfortunately, but you can remove a background in Canva from an image, which I think is great.
It doesn't work on everything though. I've had issues with certain images, but I think it's because they were too busy. So then I get mad and just do it from my phone because I just have no patience for Illustrator or anything like that. Because number one, it takes too long to load on my computer. And number two,
I use like clipping magic. I just upload it. It happens magically. I save it. I'm done. But I think I pay $3 a month for that. But I use it so much and it's super easy.
So here's a question that I know a lot of us get asked, and I could probably tell you guys how much I spend, but I want to know, how much do you guys spend on apps and design programs minus Adobe?
I think Adobe matters because that's still a program and I still pay. I just downgraded from $60 a month down to $24 because I was paying the $59 because I wanted everything, because I kept telling myself for years I was going to learn Premiere Pro. But
if you threaten to cancel your service altogether, they'll give you the $59 for $39.
I just did because I canceled it and I was like thinking I could go without it. And then it wasn't even a month and I'm like, crap.
But for the average person who's getting into this, I don't know if they'll necessarily jump, out the gate. Like I know for me, I want After Effects and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet because I just haven't. And so people who are, that are just going to spend money on like Canva or Trello or, Pick, Play, Post or anything like that, like, what are you spending? I know for me, I spend the $120 on Canva. I split my Trello account with someone, which I'm not going to use because I've logged in there like maybe 3 times in 4 months, if that. And then in like Pixaloop, I have the suite because that's my life. Like those 4 apps are amazing. And then I pay for like 2 other apps and that's it. So maybe I'm spending $250, $300. I'll have to price it out per year, which to me, that's like, if I were to do a mailer to my neighborhood, the mail route alone for half of the neighborhood is $250 for 1 month and 1 postcard. Like,
Right. And I get the free version of Photofy, but I would totally pay the $4 a month or whatever it is. Canva, I use every single day. I don't do a lot of stuff on my phone. The Pick Plus Play, I use Ripple a lot. So I do pay for that every year. And that just, I will create whatever, and then I just kind of throw stuff over there just because I like the animations and they have a lot of stuff. I probably use that because I pay for Trello, but I realize I don't ever go in there until someone posts something like, oh, I did this in Trello. I'm like, oh yeah, I pay for that, but I haven't been in there in 6 months. So I think I just let that go because there's so many different things that Canva does have, and it just feels like in Crello it was always this, I was seeing the same thing all the time, and I just didn't use it nearly as much as I would use everything else, and I just don't use it. So I use Ripple, I use Canva, and I think that's really the two that I use. I mean, I still have my Illustrator and all of that. I only use it when it comes to like the logo stuff and like, you know, helping offices, whatever, with their logos, because it'll drive me crazy if someone just sends me a JPEG and it's like absolutely horrible. I'm like, no, I'll recreate it.
Yeah.
I know what font this is. I'll just recreate it for you. So I found I still can't get rid of Illustrator completely. I still do use it, but
Yeah, I use it every once in a while.
I tried to edit the local love video that I did the other day. I was like, all right, I've got time. I've watched some YouTube. I'm going to dive into Premiere Pro and I've got this. Here we go. I was in there for maybe 5 minutes and I was like, this is so much easier in Pick, Play, Post. And
that's my point. Like,
I use Camtasia for everything, but I've had Camtasia for like ever. So I'm like,
the other thing about Pick, Play, Post is that you used to only be able to have like one layer of text, and now you can have multiple.
Mm-hmm. And you can find the stickers and all kinds of stuff.
That's an app though, right?
Yeah, but Fred made his video in Canva, and he had all these doodads and things going on. So,
What about you, Anna? What do you use every day? What do you pay for?
I pay for Canva and Adobe Cloud. So I use mostly Lightroom lately just to edit the 360 photos and stuff. I used to make my business cards with Illustrator. So if there's something that Canva can't do, I always go back to Illustrator because it gives me more control. And Photoshop, barely use it, maybe sometime. I pay for Ripple. I haven't used it in a while, so maybe I should reconsider that expense. Yes. But I don't think I pay for any. Oh, and Photofy. And
yes, this is being recorded. It's live. It's going to be, it'll stay in both groups. So you can watch it. It'll always be here. So if anybody has any other questions, definitely make sure, put them in there. We'll be responding. And this was super exciting. Our first learning as we go. And I think we all bring different elements to the table when it comes to Canva. I think we all love Canva. We use it all the time. But of course, if anyone has any questions, we're here. I mean, we're always here. Can't get rid of us.
that screen that I'm trying to share is the explains how to remove background for those who wanted to see. It's pretty simple. I just had a picture from Christmas cards and stuff. I clicked to remove the background and just placed this in the nice warm weather with Santa hats. So it's very
the background thing hasn't worked very well for me.
That one worked, and you can see that it had a somewhat busy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it definitely did. Maybe it's different now, but I know when it first came out, I tried and I was like, nothing's happening.
Yeah, but I also had issues with all of the effect features and stuff. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. And I will chat with everyone soon. Ask any questions. We'll be happy to answer. We hope you got some nuggets out of this, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.